There's so much more to say, but literally this is why you're here and you are doing amazing things. So my sort of mental health story started 5 years ago when I went on to the X Factor. To be honest with you, it started as a bit of a laugh, like most things. I thought I'd get a couple of Facebook likes or something. It went completely the other way. Music was my livelihood, and it always has been. And overnight, things kind of blew up for me, and reality set in quite quickly. Comments from people about how I looked or what I sounded like, or the things I was saying, that I was fat and that I was stupid or that I was rubbish, and it really quickly actually got into my head. I started feeling really different really quickly. Like I would see something that I used to think was beautiful, and all of a sudden it was just grey. There was no colour left in anything. The colour faded and everything just sort of became liquid. And they are symptoms of poor mental health, and I want to talk a little bit about symptoms, because part of ending the taboo of mental health is awareness, as you know. One of the most dangerous symptoms of depression or poor mental health is feeling completely lonely. And some of you will have felt that before. The reason it's so dangerous is because when you're alone you can't get any help, which is why it's so important what you guys are doing, is to let people know you can get that help. Sometimes you feel like you're not worth anything, or that you're not needed, which you are, and you're better off not here, but that's just not true. Anything can trigger these sort of feelings. It doesn't have to be going on the X Factor. It could just be being a normal human being. These things happen to us all, and it's about identifying those symptoms and combating them when we can. That's important. And this is where the dog comes in, right? Not that I'm a weird dog lady, but in 2014, after months of just feeling completely the same, with living in a grey world and just not really feeling anything, and ignoring my feelings, keeping it to myself, I found myself driving down an open stretch of motorway at 6:30 in the morning on a Sunday, with 3 empty lanes in front of me, and something just kind of clicked in my head, really just went, and I put my foot onto the accelerator, and I looked at the speedometer. I was at 100 miles per hour, and I shut my eyes, and I got ready to turn into the central reservation. And at that point, there was absolutely nothing in my head, absolutely nothing. I didn't think about anybody else. Selfishness didn't exist then. There was just nothing. It was just liquid. And as the moment sort of came around, in that desperate moment, I looked down, looked back up again, closed my eyes, and I heard this sniffle next to me, this little sneeze. And I opened my eyes and I looked to the left, and Steve, my dog, was sat in the passenger seat. And in that defining moment where everything had gone, everything had just disappeared and I was ready to leave, it was a bloody dog sneeze that brought me out of that moment. What I want to say is about that moment is that moment is so weak. And that moment just isn't you. And that moment is one decision that you make that you can never change. And the moment isn't scary, I'll tell you that. And it's not a selfish moment, but it is desperate. And I'm not saying all of you should buy a dog, right? But I am saying that you should all be a bit more like Steve, in the way that you don't need 4 legs, you don't need to be cute, and you don't need to be in the passenger seat. All you need to do is just nip round for a brew, or tell your best friend that they're not alone, or say to them, 1 in 4 people suffer with mental health problems, it's not just you, or say, we're together in this, or that you're loved, because you really are, and that he's a Boston, not a French bulldog. And be more like Jenny and Stuart, and change the way the world thinks. Change the way we think and the way that we save people's lives. Keep Lucy's memory alive, keep spreading awareness and love, and thank you for having me. And remember, you are perfect and life is exactly what you make it. Thank you.